Hey everybody, Mark Yegi. It is Thursday, and there's no two ways about it. This is a rough day in the market, and we are red. And so you can see that we're red. Pretty much every stock on my screen is red. But that's no reason to panic. This is an opportunity to take advantage and kind of weed the garden and size up your portfolio and make sure you got the right things going on. I've been mostly in cash for, I don't know, 6-8 weeks or something like that, because the market turned red several weeks ago. And I thought, well, maybe with this talk of tariffs, maybe all this stuff that's going on, we've had, good run in the market for a while. But I looked at my market indicators and they all said red. So I lightened up my position. I don't know if you remember, but I had huge position in Tesla. I've got some smaller positions now. Yes, because I like to be in the market no matter what, because you never know we're going to get the good day or the bad day. I believe that you can make money in any market. And I'm going to show you kind of what I'm doing to weed my garden today. And I already did one trade. I just couldn't wait. But the stock, I could have waited now that I look back on it. But, the stock was at 203.50. And we're talking about Apple. I have a very small position in Apple. I've got 400 shares, and I've sold 4 calls. They were deep in the money against them. Now, they're not so deep in the money. One of them is actually out of the money. This 210, and the other one is the 200s, and those are still $4 in the money right now with the stock at 204.39. So what I'm doing is basically a deep in the money covered call strategy on Apple. And so my goal is not to try to predict whether Apple's going up, down, or sideways. I think it's going, kind of down to sideways right now. But it's to be in the money. And in this market, being in the money gives you that in the money protection. So for example, if I'm deep in the money on a 210 call, for example, and the stock's opened up, was at 220 yesterday, and the stock goes down to 210, I still haven't lost any money, because the in the money amount protects me. It protects you if you're in the money, right? After you go below the strike price, you lose the protection because you've got no in the money cushion. In other words, you're short the in the money amount, but you're long your base position. And so if your in the money amount goes down $10, your base position goes down $10, you don't lose any money. Remember, we're in this for the weekly juice. I do it weekly, bi-weekly, whatever. We're in this for the juice. And so I've got a small position in Apple. And what I did today is the stock went down to 203.50. I used that first as an opportunity to add a synthetic call, because I believe synthetic calls are tools, right? We have a tool that's a deep in the money option, and I bought a 90 deep, 90 delta deep synthetic call that goes out to September. So I've got, basically 6 months left on this. My goal is to sell calls against that and the other positions that I have in my account, 400 shares plus 100 shares, if you call that 100 shares of one contract, which is what it is. So now I control 500 shares of Apple. And so I've got the 210 calls. And the reason I'm not going to do anything with them is because there's still $397 worth of juice left in those. Remember, at expiration, there's going to be no juice left in them. So right before expiration, right when this extrinsic value, which I call the juice, goes down so much that I can buy it back for maybe most of my profit, that's when I'm going to do it. But you know what? Apple is paying too much juice because these go out to the 17th, which is a couple weeks from now. So they're still not dropping in juice. So my goal is to collect it, okay? So what I did is I went and bought that 150 call to give me an opportunity to get more juice on the way back up. Hopefully the stock will go back up. And so what I did was I added another in the money option. So now I have 400 shares plus 100 shares with that contract, and I have 2 short calls, which are the 210. So now those have dropped out of the money, but I'm not going to roll those down yet because there's still a lot of money to buy them back and roll them down. If it gets closer to 210, I might consider something different. But on the 200s, I'm still in the money now. It looks like, $4.82. So I added, by shorting, one more call against it, and I picked up about $4, and when I did it, it was about $4.80 in extrinsic value, juice, okay? Well, think about that. That's $480 in that one contract that I added. Now I have 3 of those contracts, so it's about $1,200, right now. So my goal is to collect the juice. So I already did that trade. Now, this will blow your mind, because what I'm doing is I'm doing a covered put strategy. I put it in quotes because everybody likes to call it something different. I call it covered puts because I try to treat it the same way I treat a covered call, except I just flip the whole chart upside down And it works the same way, except in reverse. Make sense? It's the dark side, so I get it if you don't get it. You know, Darth Vader could be great at these trades. But, so I've got this Best Buy position, right? So a few weeks ago, I was like, well, I don't like the chart on Best Buy. If you saw the Best Buy video that I put out a few weeks ago, I showed you that it was breaking down. And if you think about it, it makes sense, right? If your retail companies that sell Chinese goods are not going to be able to get Chinese goods without markups, that means fewer people are going to be buying their more expensive goods, and retail's under a lot of pressure these days anyway. The fundamental story to me made sense, and so did the chart. So I started to be on the short side of Best Buy. So what I'm trying to do is I bought a put, okay? And what I'm doing is I'm selling puts against the long put at the money, or maybe a little bit in the money, and just collecting the juice. Remember, I like things to go in the direction I predict. I can't predict stocks, whether they're going to go up or down. I just looked at the chart, and I have some experience doing some shorts from the past, and it really set up for that good looking kind of a chart. So I'm on the short side. So what I'm going to do is, these calls have a nickel left in them, right? See the juice column, the extrinsic value? There's 5/10 fluctuating. There's almost nothing. So I want to buy those calls back. They're expiring tomorrow, and I could just let them expire worthless. But they're not worthless because they're in the money, and they're in the money by about $9.65, right? And so if I'm going to have to pay that to buy them back, but that's okay. I'm in this for the juice. And when I did this, I think it was $144 a contract times 20 contracts, right? So that's $2,800 roughly that I picked up in juice. Now I'm going to buy that juice back. Yes, I'm going to have to pay some intrinsic value, but that's okay because that intrinsic value was largely made up by the move down in the base position. So it's hard to wrap your brain around this. A lot of people think that I'm trying to predict the stock, and why don't I just buy puts if the thing is going to go down and all that stuff. I don't buy puts without covering them, or buy calls without covering them, because I'm in this for the income. I'm not in this to predict things. We can all sit here and try to predict where Apple's going to go and Nvidia's going to go, but we're not going to be right more than 50% of the time. So why take that chance? If you can sell calls and create income, now you have a better chance of being right. I know you're going to be right on selling your calls and getting the juice 100% of the time. So if you can just change your mind to focus on that, you'll be way better off. So what I'm going to do, let's take a look at it. I've got these 85 puts, which are continuing to go down, or the stock is going down. So these are going deeper in the money because it's a put, right? So they're gaining value. You can see they've gained value over here, P&L open. And then the put that is short is losing value, I guess you can look at it. It's going in the right direction, except I'm short. So those are going against me, but you can see the delta between those two is 17 to 9. So it's a couple $1,000s. And so what I'm going to do is continue to focus on the juice. I don't need to wait until tomorrow to roll this. I'm going to roll it now. Which ones am I going to roll it to? Well, I'm going to go out another week. I'm going to look at the puts. Right now the stock is at 63, 64, and the ones that I have are the 73s. So I got like $10 more. So I'm not going to roll all the way down because I think maybe the stock will go up or whatever. And if I roll all the way down, then I could get caught in what I call the whipsaw. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up about halfway and maybe look at these 68s, okay? And you can see these 68s only have about 50 cents worth of juice in them, right? So that's not a lot of juice. I mean, it's good. I'd rather probably be here like around the 67s maybe and pick up almost $1. Remember, I got, what do I have, 20 contracts or 40 contracts? I've got 20 contracts of these. So that's another $2,000, and it's pretty safe because I'm in the money, right? If I start going here, I get more juice, but I'm out of the money. I want to stay in the money so in case the stock does bounce back up. And so I want to go to these 67s, right? You can see $1.07 in juice roughly. So what I'm going to do is go back to my trade. I'm going to click the right mouse button, and I'm going to create a rolling order. I'm going to roll from this week to next week. That's all. So I create a rolling order. It builds the order at the bottom. So I'm buying back these April 4th 73s, and I think we said we're going to do the 67s. So I'm going to sell 20 of those 67s, okay? I like market orders because I don't do a lot of contracts. They usually get a really good fill, and I'm not going to quibble about a few cents. They might move the stock around to get me filled. Look, it's not worth it for 20 contracts, 10 cents, a couple $100. I'd rather just get filled and not wait for the stock to move against me. So I'm going to read it back. I'm buying back 20 contracts. I'm selling 20 contracts of those April 11th, and I'm going to go at the market. Okay? Now, we always want to go back and check our account. And so you can see I now have 0 of those 73 puts, and I got 98 cents worth of juice. Let's call that $1. That's a $2,000 trade for the week, and I'm pretty safe because I'm kind of deep in the money, right? And so if I could just get a couple $1,000s a week off this position, heck, I've only paid $18,000 for the position. In 9 weeks, the whole position is free, right? And I'm already 3-4 weeks into this. I'm going to do a math video on this. I keep promising that, but it's so tedious to do math for me. I'd rather trade. I know I'm making money on the juice, so it's accruing. But I'll do one for you because a lot of people this is the dark side. It's hard to follow. So that's my best buy trade. Now I've got 20 of the 67 puts, right? And they're expiring in 8 days. So I'm good. Now I'm kind of good. I want this extrinsic value to go down, and I have time on my side. So the longer I wait, the more it goes towards 0, no matter what. Notice, and I want you to notice this, those of you math wonks who think I'm losing money when the stock goes deeper in the money, I want you to notice that a stock's or an options price is made up between two things. You add the extrinsic value and the intrinsic value together. The extrinsic value is the time premium. That always goes to 0. Always goes to 0. Well, since I'm shorting it, that always goes to 0. I like that. That's good for us, right? If we're short. The intrinsic value is how in the money it is. So those 73 puts, the stock is down $9-something or whatever. It's $9-something in the money, right? So that amount works against me on a short. That's okay. I'm not in it for that. That's going to move up and down with the intrinsic value, which is offset by the moving up and down of the intrinsic value of the put. So those generally offset each other. There's a little bit of a delta difference that you have to account for, but they generally over time will offset each other. So I'm not worried about having the stock go down and it's going to cost me more money because I'm in it not for the intrinsic column. I'm in it for the extrinsic column, the juice column, right? So if I just keep doing this every day, whatever, and the stock keeps going down every week, I should say, I'm just going to keep making that juice. And I got 2,000 shares of it. So if I get $1, I get $2,000 every week. In this case, it's 8 days. So it makes sense, right? So that's my best buy position. Apple position is now done. Let me click them, get off here. DR Horton, I've got puts. I'm doing the same kind of a covered put strategy on DR Horton. I've got 40 contracts, but you can see there's a lot of juice still left in those because they still have 3 weeks left in them, right? So I'm not going to fool with them. I'm just going to kind of let them do their thing. It's actually going in the direction. I looked at that chart too. If you remember the DHI video that I did a few weeks ago, and I said, this DHI is breaking down. Think about that. We've got a high interest rate environment, right? We've got goods that are being priced because of tariffs, right? So imported lumber and steel and those things. So the cost of things temporarily is going to go up. DR Horton's not going to build that many homes, and if they do, their profit margins are going to shrink. So I looked at the chart. Everybody else has been looking at the chart too because it's been selling off, and it's forming a perfect, really a perfect descending triangle pattern is really kind of why I got into it. And today it's down 578. Best Buy was down a lot more. Best Buy was down what? 12. That's pretty heavy on a $75 stock. But DHI is down 577 on a $122 stock. That's not a small decrease. And I've got let me open this up here. I've got the 125s long and I've got the 124s short. So I am now in the money on both of those, right? So, but still there's too much intrinsic value on the DHI position to buy them back at $445 a contract. So I'm just going to wait until that extrinsic value comes to me. That's what I'm in this for. So I'm going to close that position there, shut that down too. I have a MicroStrategy position that I'm going to have to roll. There's 84 cents left in it. I got $2,955 a contract, and now it's $82 to buy that contract back. And you can see there's no intrinsic value. I have shorted the 322.50s. Well, the stock's at 293. It's an awfully long way to go in, a day and a half to get all the way back to 322.50. But that's okay. That 77.50 is my money. So I don't need to hurry back in there. I could just wait until tomorrow and I get all that 77.50 or whatever. And I'm good with that because I'm in this for the juice. Now, I don't like that the stock went away from my direction. I want things to go up when I'm in a covered call. I want things to go down when I'm in a covered put. But that's life. I can't control that part of the I can't control the base position bucket, right? I can't control these 11 contracts. What I can control is the juice bucket, the extrinsic value. I'm not going to do anything today. I'll probably make a video tomorrow or do something tomorrow on that. Tesla, 35 cents left in this. I'm not really doing anything with the Tesla position. I have a Zscaler position that is down $10 today, and this one expires not this week but next week. And so you can see there's still $3 of extrinsic value. I focus on the juice. I'm not really worried about this stock going up and down. If it goes down past 191 though, that's my circuit breaker in my trading plan. I'm flipping the circuit breaker and I'm getting out at the 200-day moving average, which is around 191 and change. So I'm watching this pretty heavily and closely today, but there's still too much juice for me to just close out the calls. So that's where we are. That's the quick update on the portfolio. It's not a good, fun day to be in the market at all. But if you're going to be in the market, there are things that you can do, and I just use these lemons to make lemonade. I hope that makes sense, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye. Hey, it's Mark Yagi, and if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do that right now. That would be a great favor to me, and plus it helps me get this material out to a lot of other people that might need it. I've got a little bit of a movement going on here, and I want to try to change the world one person at a time, showing them that you can make safe, reliable income from the stock market. And plus it helps to grow the channel a little bit. Also, if you would give me a thumbs up on the video and like it, great. If you don't like it, give me a thumbs down, that's cool. But just tell me why you don't like it so I can get better. And then hit the notification bell so you can get these videos as soon as they come out, because a lot of times this is timely information and you want to get that information before it gets stale. The last thing is to join my free Insider Tips newsletter. There's a link below and you get everything in one spot. You get breaking news and analysis also. So that would be great if you could do that too. See you soon.